Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Empowered Gems Tarot. My name is Melissa, and in today's reading, we're going to be looking into how your colleagues and coworkers perceive you. So this reading is just going to kind of look into how you're currently perceived in the workplace. And you can come into this reading maybe asking just generally, how do the collective of your colleagues perceive you at work, or if any of you wanted to ask about a specific person, a specific coworker, you could also view this reading to look into how they perceive you as well. Getting into our disclaimers, keep in mind that this is a general reading, so some of the messages may apply quite specifically and accurately to you and your situation, while others of the messages may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Definitely don't allow anything said in these general readings to get you upset, especially if it doesn't feel like it really fits for your situation. If you guys did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can book one with me will be linked in the description box down below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our reading selection. We have a choice between 3 stacks of cards here, 3 different groups. If you're drawn to group 1, we will be working with this Sunstone crystal. If you are drawn to group number 2, we will be working with this Spirit Quartz. And if you are drawn to group number 3, we will be working with this Pyrite. I want you guys to take a deep breath and think about how your coworkers perceive you. Pause the video if you need a little bit of extra time to make your choice. Once you're ready, scroll down to the description box below where you can find the timestamp that will take you to your selected reading. See you there. Hello, group 1. If you all were drawn to this Sunstone crystal, this will be your message. So today we're looking into how your colleagues and coworkers perceive you. So let's get started with a few of our cards, then we'll just kind of keep going with your pile. So we have the conjunction coming through, which reads Alliance. We have the Thief. Ooh, and we have the Trickster. Okay. Okay. Group 1. Okay, so we're going to have to, you guys know the readings, sometimes they can get a little direct or blunt on this channel, so I'm going to have to tell you the truth of what I see. Keep in mind, though, that just because somebody perceives us to be a certain way, it doesn't automatically make that the truth of the situation, right? This is just someone's perspective, their perception based on the lens that they're viewing you through. Okay, so how you're perceived at work, group 1. I think that people see you as someone who kind of like aligns yourself with other people with this alliance energy. Like conjunction is when we have like 2 planets that are like kind of directly combining together, and their energies kind of mesh together, and we get kind of like a combination of the 2 energies manifesting into one energy. And sometimes conjunctions can be really beneficial, right? Where it's like the energies kind of empower each other, they work together. Sometimes the energies can clash, right? Where it's like 2 energies that don't really mix well together, creating a different type of result. And so what I'm kind of getting from this with the Thief and the Trickster coming up, I kind of feel like there's a perception of you that you guys might align yourself with other people to kind of take from them in some capacity. So with the Thief, we have sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. I think that there's a perception of you that you guys might take or steal creative ideas, content, maybe money. I don't know if that's a situation for some of you out there, but there's a perception of you not like kind of like relying on other people to create your stuff. And I feel like it's coming from you guys may think that you lack the ability to do this on your own. And so there's like this reliance on other people to get ideas, potentially. We also have the trickster. So again, you're seen as somebody who's a little tricky, for lack of a better word. Like, I don't think that your colleagues and coworkers, whoever they are, whoever you guys are asking about, I don't think that this person fully trusts you. So we have transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. So there's kind of an element of you guys being a little bit of a wild card at times. Like maybe you kind of step outside the box, or you're not always like going to fall right in line with the status quo. But then we also have this energy of manipulating others through duplicity. So there's definitely, like with thief and trickster, there's definitely kind of this theme of like dishonesty or a lack of transparency at the very least that I'm getting from this energy. So let's move into your tarot next. So we have the Justice card and the World in reverse. How are you perceived at work? Group 1. I do feel like there is this vibe that you all hold some sort of power over others with that Justice card and the Trickster. Like, I feel like maybe you guys might be a decision maker in the workplace for some of you with Justice. Like, you're the one who is like weighing options. You're the one that's making decisions. Maybe you guys have to make some sort of like neutral decisions or kind of be impartial in your decision making. I don't know, like I kind of am getting this power imbalance energy from this Justice card here, where it's like we've got people that are begging for support or begging for justice, and it's like there's a person here who holds the power to give that justice. But will they, is the question. There's like this unpredictability around whether you're going to give the justice that's due. Some of you guys may work in the legal field. Maybe some of you guys work with like law enforcement or something, where you're dealing with people who are moving through the justice system right now because of maybe like crimes that they've committed or something like that, potentially. Maybe there's something about, for some of you, having to work with people that are in those situations, right? Yeah. And there's unfinished business here with the World. There's unfinished business that's something's happening here where like there's a lack of closure on this situation that's coming through. A lack of closure, a lack of completion, something that's unfinished. We have rainbow, blessings. We have wealth. And we have fast changes. This card of rainbow is interesting because the one time that I got this card in my own personal situation that really stands out to me is I was going through a really tough week, you guys. Like, I was traveling. I ended up getting sick when I was out of state traveling for work, and I was stranded in the hotel for a week. And I remember before I went on the trip, I pulled this card as like my message of the week of blessings. So I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be such a great week. And it was like one of the worst weeks that I ever had. But I think that the card came up because it was telling me that there was a difficult, challenging situation here in which I was having to kind of focus at that time on the blessings, on gratitude, because, for instance, I was so sick, I was stranded in my hotel, I couldn't leave. I was having to get like medication delivered to me and things like that, right, by Instacart, which was a blessing, right? That was like the silver lining. It could have been worse. I was allowed to stay in that hotel. My company paid for it, even though I was out sick and taking sick days the whole time, right? There were blessings to be found in the situation. So I get off on that tangent to say that there is some sort of trouble here that people are associating you with, and some sort of overcoming or silver lining that's come out of the situation for you. I'm also kind of wondering, group one, if some of you guys have had to like go through the legal system yourself with something with work. Like maybe these archetypes may not specifically be you and your energy. Maybe this is like an energy that you guys have had to deal with. Maybe you guys have had to deal with people copying your stuff or taking your ideas. Maybe you guys have had to deal with like, you know, trickster energy of people like being duplicitous with you at work. And with justice, there's this energy of protecting yourself, maybe through the legal system, or searching for that balance, that protection again. You're associated here with wealth, like making money, prosperity. Perhaps this is part of the blessing energy that people are associating you with. And then we have this energy of fast changes, which this talks about leaving a job really quickly. So with this trickster energy in the world reverse, remember how I was saying there's something that's not finished? It's possible that some of you guys broke free of this situation and left really quickly, and people are kind of associating you with like, oh, we didn't get closure with pile one. They left everything behind, right? And you know, the trickster, it does talk about transcending conventions, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. So it's like you guys sort of manifested or kind of like disappeared out of the situation unpredictably, right? People didn't see it coming. I wasn't going to do this because I wanted these to be kind of short and sweet, but now I feel like I want to do this. Tell us more, Spirit. Look, as I'm parting the deck, we have the Magician. Can you clarify, Spirit, the Thief and the Trickster? How are my pile one viewers perceived by their colleagues and coworkers, please? Clarifying this Thief energy. The Nine of Cups. Clarifying this trickster energy. Three of Cups in reverse. There's definitely some sort of bad blood here, you guys. I have to be honest. Like, whoever you guys are asking about, they don't really see you in the most positive light. You know, I think that there are some areas of silver lining, like, but I feel like overall, this is a person or a group of people who, for whatever reason, might be seeing you guys as being a little self-serving or selfish. Gluttonous. This makes sense with that wealth. Like maybe there's this energy of excess that you're associated with here, or just kind of moving in a way that's just convenient for you, but not necessarily convenient for others. There's also this dynamic here again of like someone who's more in a position of power and authority, and then like a servant, right? Kind of like similar to what we saw in the Justice card. And it's like, you can see that the person serving has to like bring the food and whatever else is on that plate over to them. You know, so maybe people feel like they have to kind of be at your beck and call, or be at your whim, your emotional whims in a way. And I do see with this Three of Cups reverse kind of a falling out energy, like something, you guys might have been in a group, working together in a group with someone, a trio, working with friends, something along those lines. And I see that this person is like, they're associating it with the falling out for sure. So this is interesting, group one. I definitely feel like this has to do with something with creativity, with you guys picking the Sunstone and those messages with the Thief. But I would love to hear from you. Who did you guys ask about, and why do you think they perceive you this way? And keep in mind, right, like I was saying in the beginning of your message, just because someone perceives you in a certain way doesn't mean that their perception is accurate, right? It could be they're projecting this onto you that's totally untrue. But comment below and keep me in the loop. Tell me about who you asked about and how this kind of resonates with what you know about them. And if you guys are not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you will be updated once I post the next reading. And I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hello, group 2, and welcome to your reading. If you guys selected the Spirit Quartz, this will be your message. And today, we're looking into how your colleagues and coworkers perceive you. Now, like I said in group 1, perception is not always reality, right? So just because someone perceives us to be a certain way, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's true, right? So just keep in mind that whoever you're asking about, we're going to get the answer from their perspective, not necessarily your perspective. Okay, so starting us off, we have solar flares. We have Messiah. Ooh, and then we have the poet. How are you perceive group 2? So I feel like your colleagues and coworkers or whoever you asked about at work, they see you as someone who's very active or activating. I think that you bring a lot of high energy into the workplace. You could be somebody who really shines very brightly, or maybe somebody who kind of comes in and generates action, right? Like you activate, as this card is talking about, you activate the workplace. I feel like you guys really activate the workplace through your expression, right? I think that your communication is something that you're really known for at work. And this is specifically talking about poetry, right? So there could even be something about creative communication that people associate you with at work. Maybe some of you literally are writers, are poets, or just something about the way that you vocalize is significant here to your perception. This is what stands out as like a strength. This says expresses soul insights in symbolic language, turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. It's kind of interesting, right? Because I do feel with the solar flares energy coming through that there is kind of like this perception or this side of you that could be perceived as disruptive as well, because solar flares, they are chaotic, right? It's kind of when things are really chaotic, things are really active, there's a lot going on. And so you just really bring that energy. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's bad, but you are somebody who generates activity in the workplace big time. We also have the Messiah, serving humanity with humility, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. I think you guys stand out as a leader as well. I definitely get strong leadership energy from these cards. And there could be also an energy of service here, being of service to others in the workplace, or kind of really standing out as someone who is like the problem solver or the champion of a specific cause. Okay, so let's continue. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse as well. Okay. Queen of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse are both kind of interesting because there's definitely like an energy of detachment here, emotionally and materially. The Queen of Cups in reverse is kind of telling me that you guys could be perceived as a little bit overly emotional or overly detached, but I want to take back what I said about it being detached. I actually feel like you guys could be perceived as a little bit emotional about things at work at times. Again, kind of tying into this activating energy that's here. I think that you guys are very emotionally connected to whatever it is that you do with work, especially if there is something humanitarian related. I think you're just very passionate and compassionate to whomever it is that you're working with or whoever you are in service of or in service to. But I do think with that Queen of Cups reverse that some people may be perceiving you as a little bit emotionally imbalanced or emotionally kind of unpredictable at times, which would make sense with that solar flare energy. But it's also like with the Queen of Cups, you know, you guys do have this soft side to you, this poet energy, right? Which is creative and compassionate and, you know, emotionally expressive in a beautiful way. I think that you are recognized for both, but I have, you know, sometimes the message is more blunt. I don't know. Like, I do think there's a side of you that people see as being emotional, not always in the most like stable way. right? And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles reverse is interesting because it's possible that you guys like have maybe declined opportunities at work, or maybe you have not invested in certain opportunities at work. There's like this energy of potential here with the Ace of Pentacles, potential to grow. Especially if some of you guys are asking about like a boss or maybe like a potential business partner or something like that. There's like an association with you with an opportunity that never quite got off the ground. Maybe something creative or related to your creative expression. We have ancestors, generations. We have direction. Trapped. Okay, that makes sense why you could be seen as being kind of emotional or something like that. With ancestors coming through, I'm wondering if you guys have worked at this place for a really long time, because ancestors kind of talk about generations, as the card says, right? It's giving me like there's been a long history here, or a long time that you've been there, a lot of years put in. I also wonder for some of you if you run a small business that's been passed down through your generations, or maybe family or relatives worked in this workplace or work with you in this workplace potentially, and that could be where some of the emotional connection comes from as well. But there's some sort of connection to the past that I see that people are perceiving you with. We have direction. Your purpose is unfolding slowly, step by step as you go along. There's no need to hurry or worry. You're being divinely guided. I really think that people see you as like working in your purpose, right? Like there definitely is some sort of an emotional connection that you guys have to the work that you're currently doing. And I do feel like people perceive you as that. And I'm wondering if you guys are also, again, I'm getting that leadership energy where it's like there's a compass here. So you guys may guide others as well to their purpose at the workplace. But there is this vibe of you guys feeling a bit stuck or trapped, or, you know, again, there's like this energy of a missed opportunity that's here, or stagnation with the Ace of Pentacles as well. You feel stuck in your current situation, but you do have options for another job while keeping the one you have for now. So yeah, people are perceiving you as being a little bit stuck at this time. Maybe people know that you're looking for another opportunity. Let's see. But maybe that stuck energy is also kind of where some of the emotion is coming into play, right? Because it's coming from a place of frustration. How is Pile 2 perceived by their colleagues and coworkers, please, Spirit? Tell us a little bit more. I wanted these to be like short and sweet, but I'm finding that I need more info. So let's see. We have the Knight of Swords. Ooh, and then we have a Two of Pentacles. That's so interesting. The Ace followed right by the Two of Pentacles, both in reverse. And then we have the Chariot here at the bottom of the deck. So there's like a lack of direction. You know, it's like, which kind of makes sense with the solar flares, right? And this Knight of Swords makes sense with the solar flares. But like, you know, Chariot is sort of like energy that is misguided. It's scattered. It's all over the place. It doesn't have like a clear path or goal that it's channeling itself towards. We also have the Three of Swords underneath of that. So there's definitely like something difficult that you guys have endured with work, something that has maybe impacted your emotions. Yeah, so the way you're perceived, you guys, with this Knight of Swords, there's definitely like a very abrupt kind of cutthroat energy with this. Like you guys could be perceived by your coworkers as like maybe aggressive sometimes, or just very blunt and direct and to the point. Like Knight of Swords is an energy of confrontation, right? Like you're confronting the problem, you're talking, and you're not mincing your words, right? When you're confronting the problem. Hence why we have the solar flares, this activated energy here. The Two of Pentacles in reverse, it's sort of like this energy of juggling a lot, but just not being able to balance it all. which makes a lot of sense with this Chariot in reverse, right? It's like too much on your plate in a way. So this is interesting, group 2. I'd be curious to hear from you who you guys asked about and how you feel like their perception lines up with your perception of how you're perceived at work. Remember, as I was saying, like, just because someone sees you a certain way doesn't always mean it's the truth. But I'd be curious to hear from you how this resonates and what you think. So please comment below. Let me know. And if you are not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when I post the next message. And I'll see you there. Bye. Hey group 3, and welcome to your reading. So today we are looking into how your colleagues and coworkers perceive you. These readings have definitely been really interesting and kind of blunt today. I wasn't expecting that so much. But keep in mind, if you were drawn to this reading, that just because somebody may perceive you a certain way, it doesn't always mean that it's accurate, right? Because everybody is kind of viewing you through their own personal filter. Okay, so let's just dive right in and let's see what we get for you. All right. So we start off with the energy of Pluto. We have Goddess. And we have the Liberator. Beautiful feminine energy coming through here, group 3. I think that people at work perceive you as being very something transformational here with Pluto. Maybe you personally have gone through some sort of death and rebirth with regard to your career, and people kind of recognize you for rebranding yourself or reimagining your career or going through a change with your life, which impacted your career. But I think with Pluto, this tells me that you're someone who's seen as transformative, right? Like you're able to kind of get to the root of the problem. You're able to kind of cut through the BS and really see problem solve issues from looking at the root cause, from kind of digging deeper, digging into the dark, into areas where people don't necessarily want to do that work, right? You're very intense, I feel. Very intense and very you're able to see clearly what others may not look as deeply to see. Okay. I do think that you guys could be seen as intense for some of you. Maybe intense, maybe a little bit intimidating with Pluto. Like maybe you just come across as a lot to some people because your energy is so fierce. But you're also kind of seen as this like beautiful, like feminine leader in some way as well. The goddess energy coming through. This says the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, exploitation of the female nature and form. I feel like you guys are I feel like a lot of people actually find you really attractive at work, to be honest. I think that people are really drawn to your energy. I think that people fixate on you, on your beauty, your outward appearance a little bit. But I think this also is kind of like speaking to your femininity and your feminine leadership skills as well. Yes, you are intense, but you're able to convey the point in a way that is still compassionate and wise. But you definitely stand out for your beauty, for sure. We also have the Liberator. This says freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. This says imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So you guys kind of have a different outlook, you guys don't necessarily need to fall in line with the status quo, especially if you are looking at the status quo and you see that it doesn't work, right? So again, there's this transformational energy where you guys are able to kind of push for transformative change and free yourself and others from things that no longer serve them or work for the organization or whatever it is. Okay, let's continue. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Wheel of Fortune. This is so funny. Yeah, people are very attracted to you at work, group 3, especially, I don't know if you're asking about someone specific or just in general, but I feel like if you are someone who is feminine, a lot of these masculine energy people are really attracted to you, okay, with the Ace of Wands. But you are also seen as someone who's very creative as well, someone who's really exciting to be around and energetic. Like you give people a boost of energy, or you can come up with a creative idea that you can get really excited about or passionate about. Maybe you're just creative in general. People see that about you. You know how to bring energy, creative, exciting energy into something. You guys also, I think, you know, again, with the Wheel of Fortune, this talks about changes. And a lot of times with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like outer, like circumstantial changes that impact us. So I'm wondering if you guys have like a say, like a greater say in what goes on in the workplace, or a greater say in what goes on in like your department or whatever. Like there's this energy of you being able to kind of influence change, rapid change, with like bigger picture concepts or objectives at work. I also get with this Wheel of Fortune that you guys can be kind of like unpredictable at times, like impulsive maybe at times, with the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune coming up together. Like I could see that being the case. Like you might call, like maybe you just call someone to like bounce an idea off of them instead of just like messaging them first to be like, are you available? You just like pop up, you know? We have waterfall, effortless. Oh wow, we have outside forces. That's interesting. And then we have independence. This is so funny. Yeah, so waterfall, it's almost like people see you as like just being really good at what you do. Like things just fall into your lap, or things just flow to you or come to you really easily. It's like you're so good at what you do that you make it look so easy, right? It's like whatever you guys are doing, you make it look so easy to other people, even though what you do may not really be that easy to everybody, you know? Yeah. Things just, I don't know, come to you. So this is interesting that outside forces came up, because that's kind of what I was getting with this Wheel of Fortune. So we have unknown figures are driving the situation, and you may not be able to control the outcome. The cycle will shift and soon you will be okay, which is really interesting, because a part of me feels like you guys are the ones who kind of are the outside forces, if you will, that might dictate like policy or dictate objectives or goals for a group of people. But I feel like you guys, if that's not the case for you, with this Liberator and this Wheel of Fortune, I think that you guys are actually really good at rallying people and getting them on board with how we navigate through these changes that we cannot always control, right? We also have independence. It's time to go out on your own and create your own business, or try something well outside your comfort zone. So you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. You're willing to try new things. You do stand out as somebody who is independent and self-sufficient at work. Some of you guys may also have your own business, which would make sense with the Liberator, right? Because that card is talking about freeing yourself from outmoded beliefs. So maybe part of this for some of you has to do with people seeing you change your career path, going from maybe something where you were kind of stuck or in the status quo now to moving into doing your own thing. Okay. So seems like the perception of you is pretty positive, group number 3. I'm going to pull a couple more tarot cards just to keep it consistent, because this is what I did with everybody else as well. So let's see, Spirit, for group 3. How are they perceived at work by their colleagues and coworkers in this reading? Clarifying cards, please, Spirit. The Queen of Wands in reverse. That's interesting. Six of Swords. Ooh, look at the Tower at the bottom. Yeah, there's something very surprising about you, or something shocking. Maybe that's happened recently with work that people are associating you with, right? Maybe you guys left just out of the blue or something. I could see that with the Tower. I think with the Queen of Wands, like, there may be some people out there, or maybe this vibe at times, or maybe you're not as confident in yourself as you should be, right? Because it seems like people really think highly of you at work, group 3. Like, you have a lot going for you. You know, people really see you as doing well, things coming really easily to you. But the Queen of Wands in reverse is a queen that's not always as confident or as empowered. Even though people see you as being capable, it's almost like maybe you don't see yourself in that way. Like, you might be very creative and you might stand out, but it's a little bit more of an understated energy of standing out. Like, maybe you guys don't necessarily like or want all of the attention being on you, even though it comes to you regardless, right? Partially because of your looks, I feel, for some of you, but also because of just how well you do at work. You stand out. We also have the Six of Swords, which can talk about moving on, right? So again, for some of you, people are perceiving you as moving on, moving away from this, starting your own business, like we were saying. But this card also talks about, like what I was talking about before, like bringing people along through changes, right? Maybe you guys left an organization and brought people with you, or maybe there's tough times happening, changes happening within your org, and you're pulling people along to kind of like pull them into the new changes instead of like them being stuck in the past, right? Six of Swords also can talk about your ability to kind of calm people down, calm people down and kind of guide them through like trying and difficult situations. So this is definitely really interesting, group 3. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Who did you ask about? And do you think that their perception of you is accurate or not? Let me know. And if you are not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you will be updated once I post the next reading. I'll see you there. Bye.